Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today I am bringing you my 2019 makeup favorites. And what I want to preface this video by saying is, it's really the things that I used the most in 2019. There are so many things that I love in my collection, but I really want you guys to know what are the things that I'm using every day on a regular basis that are kind of like the must-haves. It's so funny because today as I was getting ready, my Spotify popped up onto my phone, my 2019 most listened to songs, and it was so appropriate because I just got ready and I was like jamming to all of my most listened songs too in 2019, many of which you guys are like from the 1980s and the 1990s because I just found Spotify this year. Like, I don't know where I've been. Like, I don't even know. It's so inexpensive. You can listen to any single song. You can make playlists. You guys, if you're not on Spotify, you're totally missing out. Like, you're acting like me, like living under a rock. So I can't believe I just found Spotify this year, but it has like revolutionized my life. I live for music. Not everybody does. Like my husband, he like listens to the news on the way to work, but like I have always been a huge music lover from the time I was a little girl. My sister and I used to sit and watch MTV. We would wait for the songs we liked to come on. In those days, we would like sit there for like 3 hours waiting for Say 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 by Michael Jackson and Paul McCartney to come on. And that has never changed. I like love music. I live for music, and I get so happy when I'm listening to music, especially the music I like. And so I totally jammed and got ready today and was so excited to just like really do this very glam makeup look for you. I got really into it because I was listening to such good music. So I'm going to show you how I got this eye look. And I'm going to show you all of my favorites from 2019. So if you are new to my channel, please stay, listen to this video, hear what I have to say. If you like what you hear, please consider subscribing, hitting the little bell next to the subscription button, and you will be notified of my future videos. Really quick, just some housekeeping. I think what I'm going to do is my year favorites today, I think what I'm going to do is post my December favorites first, then I'm going to post my year favorites, and then at the very first of the year, I'll post my skincare favorites, and then right after that, I'll show you how I use those skincare favorites in my skincare routine. So that's kind of what's coming up on the horizon for you guys. So without any further ado and chit chat, let's get into this thing. Okay, the first thing I wanted to start out with are foundations. So for the second and maybe third year in the row, my two very favorite #1 foundations are the Lancome Teint Idole Long Wear Mattifying Foundation. I wear the color 270 Bisque. This foundation's perfection, guys. I said this last year. I'm pretty sure I said it the year before as well. This foundation, if you want a medium coverage, not too full, not too light, just coverage that perfects your skin and makes it perfect, then this is the best foundation. I do not wear this every day, but when I want to look really put together, this is what I go for. It never settles into these creases that I have on my face here. I never see it settling around my nose. I cannot say that for very many foundations. Even high-end, even the super expensive foundations, my Chanel foundation, which I really like, it even does that. I have to touch up. But this Lancome foundation, it never ever does that. You guys, I think this is the third year in the row. Like, if you've never tried this and you have oily skin, you're missing out. So love that foundation. In second place for my second favorite foundation is the Dior Backstage Foundation. I love this because it gives a light coverage. It perfects the skin. It's not for going, I don't think it's for like if you really want totally perfected skin like this one. It gives a little bit less coverage than this one, but it is so natural and so beautiful. And if you use it with the Beauty Blender, it just makes your skin look more perfect. It won't cover up every imperfection, but it just lightly perfects your skin without making your skin look unnatural. So it's a very natural looking foundation. I wear this all the time because I'm usually not looking to look so perfected as this. So I really love this for everyday wear. I think it's a fantastic foundation. I also wanted to give you my top 2 drugstore foundations for those of you who are not interested in shopping high-end products. And those are my CoverGirl Matte Clean, is it a CC cream? BB cream, which is really just a light foundation. It is amazing. I think this is my third tube. I just go through these and go through these. I love wearing this for work. It's just a really light, nice foundation. And then also the L'Oreal Infallible foundation. It's got a pump. It's so great. I'm gonna link in the cards up here my video where I did like a whole day test on this, and it works so well. It lasts throughout the day. It's not super heavy. It's light to medium coverage. And it, like these other ones, part of the reason I love it is that, like, a big criteria for me for foundation that I like is that by the end of the day, I can't see lines here and around my nose. I hate that. You know, like, you look like cake face. That is annoying to me. So these 4 foundations that I've just shown you, none of them do that thing where at the end of the day, I see like caked up makeup in my big creases in my face. So I love those 4 foundations. Okay, let's move on to powder. I'm gonna kind of move through this so that this is not like a 2-hour video. So my 2 favorite powders this year to set my face with are, number 1, the Next to Nothing MAC powder. I completely used this up. I will repurchase it. I just haven't because I'm trying to work through some of my other powders. But I used the whole thing. This is, as far as I'm concerned, one of the best powders I've ever used. It is not gonna add coverage, but it does perfect the skin. It just doesn't leave that powdery look, and I love that. It looks like next to nothing, but it kind of blurs and sets your foundation nicely. It works for under your eyes. It's just a fantastic foundation. By the way, I'm feeling like I'm looking a little bit pale, but here's the thing. I have a ton of makeup on right now, and I have to go to a birthday party at noon, and I'm afraid that if I put on more makeup, like more blush or more bronzer, that it's gonna be like over the top when I get to the birthday party. So if I'm a little pale in this video, trust me, it's my lighting. It's my lighting. Anyway, let's move on. Next favorite powder is my Bobbi Brown powder. I really love this powder, you guys. It's very similar to the Next to Nothing powder in that it's got just very light coverage. It's not gonna add coverage. It's just gonna set your makeup, perfect your skin, and you can't pick this up in the camera, but it has got the tiniest bit of shimmer, which gives it a little bit of luminosity. Unlike this one, which has like no luminosity at all. It's just flat. Like you have to add highlighter if you want more luminosity. Okay, moving on to the next step in my makeup routine, which is bronzer. My 2 most used bronzers this year were my forever old Too Faced, which I'm trying to get through, you guys. I just need the satisfaction of like panning it completely. So you can see that like I've done a decent job. I still love this. It's matte. It's the right like shade for my skin tone. And it lasts all day. And then the next one, I have like buckets full of makeup here, you guys, is my newer Marc Jacobs 104 in Tantastic. This is such a fabulous bronzer. Much like the other one, it's matte. It leans to the cool side a little, which I prefer. It doesn't make me look too orange. And it's a huge pan. I'll never ever get through this, but it's just a great bronzer. So as soon as I use up, I used this for like a month straight in November, I think, and I'm just trying to use this up now because I need the satisfaction, but when I do, this is the one I'll use every single day. Okay, moving on to blushes, guys. So, my eyes are watering a little bit. Okay, for blushes, my most used blushes in 2019 were number 1, this Dior blush in the shade 999. So, I talked about this probably a year ago. I think I got it in the Sephora sale like in December of 2018. It is this bright red color, and I know that most people probably look at it and they're like, that's insane. Like, that you're gonna look crazy if you wear this. But I am wearing it on my cheeks, and like, it just gives you a princess cheeks. Like, look at them. I think I'm picking it up in the camera. Like, it just gives a healthy princessy glow. And what I particularly love this for is when I'm really dressing up and you use kind of a heavier foundation. Like last night we went to a cocktail party, and you know, I had heavier makeup on, and I really feel like your cheeks can't be pale. Otherwise you look dead when you've worn a lot of foundation. And I love the way this looks when I do a smoky eye or a really heavy eye like what I'm wearing today. It just gives so much life to the cheeks, and it prevents you from looking gothy. It doesn't matter what kind of skin tone you have. You can wear this color. Just use a light hand. It's absolutely beautiful. My other most used blushes are my 3 Marc Jacobs blushes. One in Night Fever. It's a beautiful like dusty rose color. And then 2 is Kink and Kisses, which is a peachy pink. It's similar to Orgasm, but without any shimmer. And then Orgasm by NARS, you guys know what I mean. And then Flesh and Fantasy, which is just like a tawny, really natural looking blush, which you guys see I've used a ton. It's like very imperfect. Love this blush a lot. And they give like a very satiny finish to your skin. It's not highlighty, it's just satiny and like a teeny bit glowy. Reminds me maybe of like baked gelée kind of look, which is like that satiny look. And then lastly, for my most used blushes this year is my Lancome Blush Satil in the shade Cedar Rose. You guys, I talked about this ad nauseum in the last few months, but it's such a great blush. Beautiful, smells great, gives like a natural flush. I wear it like every day to work. It's just like at work, I'm trying to get like a really natural look, and this is such a great blush for my skin tone if you want something that looks natural. Okay, moving on to the same contour powder that I've used for the last forever. I don't use any other contour powders, and that's the Kevyn Aucoin Sculpting Powder in the shade Light. You will see that it's got a huge dent in it. I sculpt my nose every day, like very lightly, and it's so light, it's not like you can tell it's sculpted. Like nobody would be able to pick that up with the naked eye. It's not like sculpting for a video where like, it's like, I was looking at a Jaclyn Hill video recently, and like her contouring is just, it's for TV, it's for movies. It's like so intense that I was kind of cracking up because I was like, when she walks outside, like, it's like stage makeup. That's what it looks like to me. If you get this, it's not stage makeup. It's like everyday natural contour. Nobody will be able to pick it up. Like this makeup is for people that, this channel is for people that are not wearing stage makeup. So if you're looking for a contour that's not gonna be too intense, not gonna look like stage makeup, this is it. Moving on to highlighters. My three most used highlighters are the Kevyn Aucoin Candlelit. This like sits in my drawer all the time. Like you'll see, it's also got a huge dent in it. Just a great highlighter. Like my hands are so dry. You guys are used to that. It's just very natural, you guys. It reminds me of the Laura Geller Vanilla highlighter. It's just one of those super duper natural highlighters. You can barely pick it up. And then if I want something like a little bit more glowy, a little bit more shimmery, I go for my Mineralized Skin Finish by MAC in Soft and Gentle. This is such an oldie but a goodie. It never gets too old. This is it right here. It's got like a slightly pinky bronzy undertone, but it's really beautiful. And then if I want something that's a lot more, you know, sparkly, like what I'm wearing on my cheeks today actually, is this, which is my Becca highlighter in Vanilla Quartz. And this also has a pretty good dent in the center, and I love it. It's just like a goldy champagne color with a little bit of a pink shift, but the pink shift is pretty tough to pick up. That's it on my finger. And then this is it on my hand. Isn't that pretty, you guys? Like this color, this shade has like not gotten hype, but I think it's so beautiful. It's just such a pretty one. And like the fact that it's got such a huge dent is like a testament to how much I wear it, which is a lot. So I don't know if you guys, can you guys pick that up? That's what I'm wearing. I'm really feeling super pale. Maybe I should put on a little bit more bronzer while I'm sitting here. Hold on a sec. Okay, I just added some bronzer to my forehead. Did that help you guys? I think I look a teeny bit less pale now. Okay, so let's move on to, what are we doing now? You guys ready for eyeshadow palettes? Let's do eyeshadow palettes. Oh, let's do concealer. I forgot to do concealer. There's only one. You guys, this is my tried and true most used concealer, and it's the Maybelline Fit Me. I use the shade 15. I like run through these. You can see it's almost done. And then I buy another one. I love it. The other ones that I really, really love and have run through many times is the Maybelline, which is the one that twists up? The Maybelline, it is like, I'm forgetting it right now, but it is the Maybelline little twist up, and I will link that on the screen below to tell you what I'm talking about. So love that. Then for my brows, the thing that I've used all year, you guys, is the Anastasia Brow Wiz in dark brown. This is the perfect shade for me. If you have like dark brunette hair and you want a little bit more of a cool tone, like not so brown, this dark brown is great. It just doesn't have that much warmth to it, which I prefer for my brows. So I've gone through several of these. I kind of buy backups whenever Ulta has sales. So I really, really enjoy this. And then next, let's get to eyes. For my primer, the primer that I've used straight for like the last 2 years is my Milani eyeshadow primer. I think this is a dupe for the Too Faced Shadow Insurance, which I also really, really like. My shadow never ever creases. It always looks great. Okay, You guys, I took a lot of time thinking about my eyeshadow palettes and how I was gonna rank them and how I was gonna describe to you why the things that are my favorite. So I kind of group eyeshadows into things that I use when I'm like going out, which is only once a week because that's a Saturday night for us, and things that I use every day when I'm going to work. So when I'm going to work, I'm not looking for, you know, a crazy Pat McGrath eye or Natasha Denona eye. Like, I need something really subdued. So I thought about that as well. Like, what are the more subdued things that are professional, that are great for working people, that don't want to have like a really, really intense eye? Kind of, I mean, like today I did a super intense eye. But what are the palettes that I use every day? Okay, so for the second year in a row, and I think the third year for one of them, okay, I just need to get to it. My favorite eyeshadow palettes for the second and third year in a row are my Viseart Theory palette in Cashmere, which you guys can see is very well loved. This palette was my favorite last year. I think it was also my favorite the year before. It's probably my most used palette. It's perfection. It's a cool tone brown palette that never gets muddy. That when you put 4 colors, you can see 4 colors by the end of the day. Like, I always look in my rearview mirror when I'm wearing this palette and I'm like, yep, still love it, still the best palette. Also, for the second year in a row, I love and think this palette is perfection, is the Persona Identity palette. Here's why I love this, you guys. You can get a light everyday look with this row and like some of these lighter colors, and you can get a really dark intense look with this row. And what I did today is I used my I put this on my whole lid. I blended this into the crease. I deepened the crease with this. I put this on the outer V, and then I put this all over the lid. And that is how I came up with this look, which is more intense, and it's like just beautiful. These are the most pigmented eyeshadows, much like the Viseart. If you put 3 or 4 colors, you're gonna see 3 or 4 colors. They're not gonna get muddy. You're gonna see them at the end of the day. It doesn't matter that these are not new. These are probably, if I could only, like, if all of my makeup were gone, these are the two palettes I would keep or I would rebuy. They're perfection. But I also wanted to show you a couple of palettes that I reach for a lot of days when I'm going to work because they're easy. They're for women on the go. They're professional. They're natural. One of those is Tartelette and Bloom. This is a classic eyeshadow palette. I think I got this last year. I don't talk about it very often because it's not new news. It's kind of old news, but it's a great palette. It's got warm tones. It's got cool tones, and it just gives you a beautiful, natural look on your eyes. It's also got dark tones, so if you want to build it up, you can. And every single year, Sephora and Ulta have great sales on this palette. It's just a fantastic palette. And much like that palette is the Too Faced Natural Eyes palette, which my mom got me, but it's just an easy go-to, everyday, appropriate for work palette with very, very neutral colors. And, you know, it gives you a beautiful, natural, put-together look when you use it. It's just simple. These are the kinds of palettes you don't have to think about them. Like, if you wake up at 5:30 in the morning like me and you just need to look presentable for work, these are great palettes. Love them, and I feel like they deserve credit. I also wanted to point out my very favorite drugstore eyeshadow palette from this year, which just came out, but this is gonna be a bestseller for ColourPop, there's no question, and it's the Coconut palette. Everybody is raving about this, but for good reason, because it is a beautiful, cool-toned, it leans on the cool side, just neutral palette for the eyes. It reminds me of the Viseart palette. So if you don't want to dish out money for Viseart palette in Cashmere, this is it gives a very similar feel in the eyes. And it's $12. Like, you just can't beat it. It's got a mirror. It's in plastic packaging. It's great for travel. It's $12. The quality is amazing, like all ColourPop is. It's made in the USA. Like, I can't say enough about this palette. Like, I know that ColourPop is crazy with the amount of releases they make, but they really do well. Like, they're made in the USA, their price point's amazing. They come out with a lot of new makeup, but for people that like makeup, we don't mind that. And they're just impressive. I think they do a great job. And I kind of think they knew what they were doing with this. They were like appealing to an older audience who didn't want glitter, who wanted like neutral colors that they can slap on their eyes every day. So if that's you, pick up this palette. It's $12. You will not regret it. It's fantastic. Another palette I just wanted to point out that is one of my most used. I know you can't have like 27 favorite palettes, but I'm showing you the things that I've used the most this year. And that is just this little MAC quad. I've talked about this before on my channel. These are the oldest shades I own of makeup. Like before I was a makeup person, like collecting tons and tons of makeup when I was a resident, and I just got up every day and went to work. These are the colors that I wore, which are, you know what, you guys, I don't know what this color is. I think it might be, it's stuck in there and I can't look for it, but it's just kind of a warm tone, mid-tone brown. But the real reason I'm showing this to you is because of this Woodwinked, Honey Lust, and Brune from MAC. These three colors, I mean, this is a great transition shade, and I know all of you probably have that in your collection, but these three, Woodwinked, Honey Lust for the corner, and Brune for the outer V, it's just the perfect quad. Like, I don't know why MAC doesn't like just make a quad that looks like this, because it's absolute perfection. And I've been wearing it for years and I never get tired of it. Okay, for my fabulous palettes, for my Saturday night palettes, I have to say that my two favorite palettes are the Pat McGrath Ritualistic Rose. Is that what this one is? Is that what this is called? I'm pretty sure it's Ritualistic Rose, but I'll list it in the description box. And it is this little quad with these gorgeous rosy tones. I have been wearing this nonstop when we go out. Look at that pink. It's just the most gorgeous shade. It is so stunning. I just think that the glitter shades in these palettes they're just really sophisticated glitter. They're not chunky, they're multi-dimensional, they go on beautifully. You may have a tiny bit of fallout that you have to like wipe away with a brush, but they are just beautiful. And then secondly is my Pat McGrath Mothership 5 palette, which I know came out a year ago, but I just bought it and I've been using it nonstop also, like for going out purposes or when I'm not going to work. It is just a stunning palette. I think that these four colors right here, this little quad, are just unique. They're different. You've got everyday shades here, but these just bring the look to a new level and they're just so fun. So for just really, really fun, exciting, going out palettes, I think that these two Pat McGrath palettes are actually worth the money. I think they're great. If it's in your budget, they're worth the money. If it's not in your budget, they're never worth the money, but they're fun palettes. And so yeah. Now, for eyeliners, you guys know the eyeliners that I always wear are my Smashbox Always Sharps. I don't think I'll ever stop using these because I basically just tightline my eyes with them. But I want to reiterate, I think this is the second year in a row, the Ardell gel eyeliners are the best eyeliners for smudging, for tightlining, and for your waterline. They do not move. You have to take like a Q-tip with like makeup remover and remove them from your waterline. It is the only ever eye pencil that I have found that stays in my waterline and does not budge. They're the best pencils. The Ardell Wanna Get Lucky gel eyeliners. They are absolutely fantastic. You can get them at Sally. Now on to mascaras. My most used mascara this year, nobody's going to be surprised about this, this is not news, is either my Lancome CLIS Booster XL, which is always on sale at Ulta for like $12. I also really like the L'Oreal white one. And then my IT Cosmetics Superhero Mascara. It never fails. It's quick to build up. You don't have to be super patient. Like, it will build up very quickly for you and you'll be done and out the door in no time. Great mascara. It's awesome. Okay, where are we, you guys? I think we're on to lips. So this went a little bit faster than I expected. I'm kind of happy about that. So my favorite two lipsticks, actually three lipsticks of the year, or my most used. This is not new, but Blankety, it's just my go-to nude lip. It's just perfect. If I ever wear a smoky eye, which is what I often do when I go out, Blankety is the lip color I used. It is old, it is tried, it is true. And as far as I'm concerned, there is really as many nude lipsticks as I have. This is the best of all of them. Blankety. It's perfect. If you like smoky eyes, this is the perfect mate to a smoky eye. My two favorite lipsticks that I purchased this year and wore this year are Very Victoria, which is what I have on my lips. And that is just a nice tawny brown shade. I love the Matte Revolution lipsticks from Charlotte Tilbury. I like them better than any of their other formulas. I think that Very Victoria is a fabulous color. And then Pillow Talk. Great. It's her iconic shade for a reason. It's just the perfect rose toned shade for the lips. And you know, I'm not a huge fan of matte lipsticks, but these matte lipsticks are comfortable. They don't like accentuate lines in your lips. They don't get too dry. You don't have to wear something over them to make them feel dry. They're great matte lipsticks. They're nothing like a liquid lip. They don't end up like getting, they don't break up on your lips after a long time. They just wear off evenly, which really is important to me in a lipstick. So they're fabulous. I really do think that they're worth the high-end price tag. And then this has been the year of the lip gloss for me, you guys. Y'all know I love lip gloss. And my two favorite lip glosses that came out this year were the Milani, what are they called? Keep It Full lip glosses. And I have a whole bunch of them. I have the shade Rose Pink, which is kind of like a light milky pink without any shimmer. I have Prismatic Peach, which is a shimmering peach. I have Sparkling Pink, which is a sparkling pink. I have a problem, I know. I have Luminoso, which is the orgasm shade for a lip gloss. It's just a peachy pink. Rosy Bronze, which is kind of a reddish brown. Let me swatch this for you because I know that sometimes dark lip glosses seem intimidating, but this is it's so wearable. It's just a reddish brown with a tiny bit of shimmer. It's just gorgeous. And then lastly is Nude Shimmer, which is just a nude shimmer. Love these lip glosses. They're just right. They're not sticky. They're comfortable. They have like the mildest tingling scents. Nothing like Buxom. I mean, nothing like Buxom. They're not as sticky as Buxom and they're not as tingly as Buxom. They have the most, I'm not a huge fan of tingle. They have the most basic tingle. You're not even gonna feel it. And then my other favorite lip glosses this year were the Almay. I mentioned these like a million times. They may even have been a favorite last December. They may. This may be the second year in a row. The Goddess glosses by Almay. Nobody talked about this on YouTube except me, and I just love it. My favorite shade of all is this one. What is this called? It is called Cosmic. I can't see you guys, but it's called Cosmic. And it's just a beautiful pinky gold. Pinky goldy brown. It's a perfect color. I have a couple of backups because I wear it all the time. I don't know if you could pick that up. But it's such a beautiful color. So gorgeous. So you guys, that's it. That's my favorites from 2019. It took a lot of thought, actually. If I can share my playlist that Spotify made for me, like if somehow I can figure that out technologically, which is always questionable with my technological incompetence, I will list it for you in the description box below so that you can listen to my favorite songs, apparently are my most played songs of 2018. I need to forewarn you, many of them are from the 80s, many of them are from the 90s, a lot of them are from the early 2000s, a lot of them are from today, but it is a great list of songs. So I'll try to figure out how to link that for you guys. And that is it. With the beginning of 2020 approaching, I want to thank all of you guys so much for your wonderful comments, your support. Everybody here is just so lovely and so nice and keeps it real and keeps it friendly and sweet and complimentary. And I just thank you guys. This is fun. I keep doing it because everybody's so nice and it's just so fun to chit chat about something in this very stressful world around us that's a little bit meaningless. Does that make sense? Like, it's just nice to sometimes think about fun, pretty things instead of all the craziness that's happening in our world. So, wishing all of you guys a safe, healthy, peaceful, prosperous 2020. And I will look forward to seeing you in the new year. Bye.